Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, before we get into the show, first off, man, if you haven't done this already, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you're the first ones to know when my next video will come out because I'm here each and every single week. And one last thing, don't forget to be awesome. Yeah, man. Sit back, chillax, grab something to eat, grab something to drink because you're watching the Ryan Awesome Show. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Hey, yo. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, today on the Ryan Awesome Show, we'll be talking about AEW Dynamite for March the 16th, 2022. St. Patrick's Day Slam. So yeah, man, so this is the St. Patrick's Day Slam edition of AEW Dynamite on 3/16 Day. So happy 3/16 Day to each and every single one of y'all, man. And yeah, man, overall, man, it was a really good show, man. Really good show. We had some great matches on this show too. The Hardy Boys, they made their tag team reunion, the tag team match against Private Party, and Bryan and Moxley continuing to dominate the tag team division. And we also had a great main event. Steel cage match between Thunder Rosa and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, for the AEW Women's World Championship. It was a really great match. And yeah, man, they killed it, man. They killed that main event, bro. They really did. And yeah, Thunder Rosa finally winning the championship. Finally winning the AEW Women's World Championship. And so yeah, man. And that was it, man. That was pretty much it. And not only that, man, she won it in her hometown, San Antonio, Texas. So that was a great feel-good moment for Thunder Rosa. A well-deserved title win because she, man, if you hear her story, man, she went through a lot to get to where she is right now in professional wrestling. And so yeah, man, so that was pretty much it with AEW Dynamite, man. It was a really good show. And also, man, the show, I don't know if it was just me, but it felt like the show went by so fast, man. It really did to me. It felt like it flew by fast, man. But yep, that was it, man. That was it with AEW Dynamite. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. And subscribe to the channel if you're new around here because I'm here each and every single week, man. And yeah, man. And yeah, before I get into the review, man, bro, I usually record all my reviews the night that the show is over. And so this is what happened. I recorded this last night. And so yeah, I recorded it last night. And I get to the inner circle, not the inner circle. I get to the Jericho Appreciation Society segment on the show, and I was looking around. I looked at the record button, like the record button wasn't even on. Like the record button was not on. And so I was like, man, wait, hold up. I was like, what? It didn't record. And so I decided, I was like, man, I was really, it pissed me off, dude. I was really pissed off. And so I was like, you know what, man, I ain't about to do this again. I'm about to start over all in the same night. So I decided to do it the next day. So I'm recording this right now on a Thursday morning. And so yeah, man. And I was like, man, I knew I pressed that record button. I know I pressed that record button. And so I went to press the record button again. My mouse had clicked off on it. So something wrong with my mouse. Something is wrong with my mouse. So I might need a new mouse. And I think that was the problem. The mouse messing up. But yeah, man, that was it, man. That was it with my situation with the, me forgetting to press the record button. But I know I did press that record button though. But yeah, yep. Enough about me though. Enough about me. But yeah, man. So last night for AEW Dynamite, we were live in San Antonio, Texas. And so our first match of the night, we had a trios match. And we had Adam Cole and ReDRagon, so that's Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, versus Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, who are the AEW World Tag Team Champions, and Hangman Adam Page, who is the AEW World Champion. And so yeah, man, this crowd right here, man, in San Antonio, Texas, they were loud, man. They were packed, and they were very energetic, man. And so yeah, man, so we had some great back and forth between Adam Cole and Jungle Boy. We had a hot tag to Luchasaurus. He took out the heels. And then we had Fish. He had tripped up Luchasaurus on a ring apron. The heels had to control the match at that point, and so they started going after Luchasaurus's legs. And so Luchasaurus, he started to fight back. He had a hot tag to Page. He took out Cole, Fish, and O'Reilly. And so we had a series of topes to Cole and O'Reilly from Page. And then Page, he had hit a pop-up powerbomb to Fish, and then Fish had kicked out. And we had a tope con hero to Cole, Fish, and O'Reilly from Jungle Boy. And we had triple moonsaults from all baby faces. So the faces, they hit triple moonsaults. Page and Luchasaurus hit like an outside E moonsault on Cole and O'Reilly. And Jungle Boy, he hit a diving moonsault on Bobby Fish in the ring. And so yeah, so Fish had kicked out of the move. And then we had an insecurity kick to Jungle Boy from Adam Cole outside the ring. And so we had double team moves to Jungle Boy from ReDRagon. And then Luchasaurus, he started fighting back. He had choke snaps to ReDRagon. And then we had a super kick to Jungle Boy from Cole in midair. And then we had Page and Adam Cole. They were going back and forth. And then Page, he had hit the dead out to Cole. And so at that point, everybody that was in the ring, they were hitting each other with their signature moves and all that stuff. And so we had a Doomsday Device to Cole and O'Reilly from Jungle Boy, which was nice, man. And then we had a high-low to Jungle Boy from ReDRagon. And so to end the match, man, we had Adam Cole. He had his finishing move, the boom, to Jungle Boy to win the match. So therefore, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish wins the match. And that was it with that. Really good match. But if you guys watch my show, I'm not a huge fan of champions losing ever. I'm not a fan of it, man. I didn't agree with it. You know, I love Cole, Fish, and O'Reilly, but you know, the champions never should have lost. That's just my opinion. But they didn't look too bad in defeat. But I still believe that champions should never lose, because you know, champions, when they lose the title, lose prestige, and the person holding the championship lose prestige. But yeah, I'm not gonna go too hard on them about it, because you know, they rarely do it, but you should never do it. So I'm not gonna go too hard on them. But if it was WWE or Impact Wrestling does it a lot sometimes. You know, I'll get on them about it. But, you know, AEW doesn't do it a lot. AEW doesn't book their champions to lose. But when they do book their champions to lose, I do call it out. So that's all I got to say about it. But, yep, that was it with that. Right after that, we had Tnt Schiavone. He was backstage. He interviews Keith Lee, Ricky Starks, who is the FTW champion, and Powerhouse Hobbs. So they're backstage.
I'd like to thank all parties for agreeing to no physicality during this interview. Thank you very much. Coming up on Friday on Rampage, Keith Lee goes one-on-one against the Acclaimed's Max Caster. Guys, you got something you want to say?
Yeah, I'd like to say something, Tony. Hey, Keith, you must be Irish, because it's your lucky day. You done got an ass whooping saved for a later date. Now, I thought I'd be a bigger man by letting you know, hey, this is how things work around here. Don't show up on my show Rampage and think you can run things. But you decided to do things your way. And as a consequence, me and Hobbs came out there and we whipped your ass. Ain't that right?
Keith, you know all about that spine buster, baby.
You know all about that damn spine buster. So here's the deal, my man. Should you go on Rampage this Friday and show up, guess what's gonna happen? The same thing. Me and Hobbs, we're gonna stomp you out like a light. Do you understand?
The same thing, like when I punched you in the face and you laid on the mat like a little bitch?
Oh!
See y'all Friday.
Dang. So yeah, that was it with that, man. But yeah, I want to see more of Keith Lee, man. I want to see more of Keith Lee, not on Rampage, but on Dynamite too. But yeah, I'm glad that we do have a Rampage too, and AEW Dark and all these other shows, because the roster is freaking stacked, man. But yeah, man, I would love to see more Keith Lee, man. I would love to see a Keith Lee versus Powerhouse Hobbs match. That match right there should be a really great match. Two big guys going at it, man. But yeah, man, that was it with that. And so yeah, so right after that, we had a vignette of Kris Statlander. She was wiping off her face paint, her alien face paint. So it looks like we're getting a character change from Kris Statlander. She's gonna go human form. But yeah, man, that was it with that. And so yeah, so right after that, we had a tag team match, and it was Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley with William Regal on commentary in their corner versus the best friends. So that's Chuck Taylor and Wheeler Yuta, with Trent Beretta, Orange Cassidy, and Danhausen in their corner. And so yeah, man. So Moxley and Bryan, they went right after Yuta and Taylor. And so Moxley, he started chopping Yuta. And then Moxley and Bryan, they took control of Yuta, man. They beat the hell out of him, bro. And so Yuta, he started fighting back. He had a hot tag to Taylor. And then Taylor, he took out Bryan and Moxley. And so Moxley, at one point, he had kicked Taylor right in his face, bro, it looked like. So that, which had to hurt, man. Bryan, he had locked in the Muda lock to Taylor. We had a superplex to Taylor from Moxley. And then we had a snap German suplex to Moxley from Yuta. And then Yuta, he started fighting back for a little bit. He had like chops on Moxley. And then Moxley had cut him off with a cutter. And then we had Bryan and Moxley, they hit the heart attack to Yuta. So shades of the Heart Foundation right there. And then we had a paradigm shift to Taylor from Moxley on the floor. And then Bryan, he started giving Yuta the yes kicks. And so the yes kicks, they fired up Yuta. And so Yuta, he tried fighting off Moxley and Bryan. And, you know, he did held his own on that one, too, man. He was fighting them back. Looked like he was about to take them both out. But the numbers were too much for Yuta. And so Bryan, he hit his signature stomps to Yuta. And so to end the match, man, we had Jon Moxley. He had locked in his Bulldog choke to Yuta to win the match. So, therefore, Yuta taps out. So, therefore, Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson wins the match. And that was it, man. Great match, bro. Great match. I loved Yuta, man. Yuta taking it to Jon Moxley and Bryan. I see why Bryan wants Yuta to be on his side. But right after the match, man, we had the best friends. They left. They were about to leave, and so they were telling Yuta to follow us. Like, come on, like, come with us. Like, come here. Like, come on, dude, let's go. And so Yuta, he was like, no, I'm about to stay behind. I'm about to stay behind. I'm about to get in this ring. And so he got in the ring, and he went to go shake Mr. Regal's hand. So he put his hand out to go shake Mr. Regal's hand, and Mr. Regal looked at his hand, and Mr. Regal slapped the piss out of Yuta, bro. Slapped the hell out of him. And so, yeah, man. And so Yuta got in Regal's face. Looked like he wanted to hit Mr. Regal, but he didn't. And so, yeah, Mr. Regal, he had like a grin on his face. Mr. Regal had told Yuta, like, hey, man, you did a great job tonight. But right now, what I need you to do right now is get out of my ring. Like, get out of the ring right now. Yuta got out of the ring. He got out of the ring, and the best friends, they looked shocked that Yuta, quote-unquote, betrayed them, I guess. But, yeah, man, that was it, man. If I was Yuta, I would join Bryan and Moxley and Mr. Regal. You know, because the best friends, dude, he does not fit with the best friends. I'm sorry, man. He does not fit with the best friends. Why should he continue to stay with these guys? Why should he continue to stay with the best friends when they treat him like crap? Not on TV, but they treat him like crap on being the elite. Every time he's on the show, they always treat him like crap. So why should he stay with these people? You know, if he joined Moxley and Bryan and Mr. Regal, he'll be treated with more respect. That's why they want him on their side. If I was Yuta, I would leave the best friends. I would leave the best friends and join Moxley and Bryan. You know, I said this when Bryan brought it up. I was like, yeah, he should join Bryan and Moxley because the best friends, they treat him like crap every single time on being the elite. If he joins Bryan and Moxley, he'll be taken seriously. He'll be taken seriously. And you heard the crowd. You heard the crowd last night. You heard the crowd chanting Yuta. Like chanting his name. When the last time you heard the crowd chant his name? Hardly, never. But yeah, if he continues to stay with the best friends, he is not going to go anywhere. But if he joins Moxley and Bryan, he's going to go somewhere. I'm telling you, man. But yeah, man. Join Bryan and Moxley, man. That's the only option. That's the only option he got. And that's the best option that he should go with. Really, I'm really excited, man. I'm really excited about this Bryan and Moxley and Regal combo, man. I'm really excited about it. And one day, I can't wait for them to go for those tag team titles, man. That was it with that. And so, yeah, so right after that, we had Tnt Schiavone. He was backstage. He interviews FTR. So that's Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler. So I'm guessing they're not a part of the Pinnacle anymore.
All right, guys, last time we saw FTR, you guys fired Tully Blanchard.
Yeah, Tony, that didn't come easy for us, but it's been something that we've talked about for a while because it's been pretty obvious that Tully, he was checked out. When we won those tag team titles, he was laser focused, but when we lost them, he lost focus. And when you lose focus, you lose your job.
Yeah, Tony, I think you know better than anybody else that there's not too many people that respect Tully more than we do. And things got out of hand.
Well.
Oh, man. Young Bucks came in.
Look at this. FTR and the Young Bucks in the same room again.
You guys talk about making changes. You talk about firing managers, and maybe you should fire your current stylist too, and maybe your barber.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I have no
No matter
hair.
what you do, you can hire the best there is, the best manager in the world. It ain't gonna make a change, boys. You know why? Because deep down inside, you're always just gonna be that second best tag team in AEW. You know, That sting a little? I know, huh? Happy St. Patty's Day. Okay, love you. Bye.
Dude,
See you guys later. Think about that one.
Dude, Nick was dressed as a leprechaun, man. That was funny. But yeah, man. Matt, he had mentioned the best manager there is. So could it be Bret Hart? Could it be Bret Hart? Could Bret Hart be coming into AEW? Because Matt, he had said the best there is. You know, Bret, he called himself the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, they're close. They're close to Bret the Hitman Hart. They're friends of Bret the Hitman Hart. Could Bret Hart show up in AEW? That would be freaking cool, man. They had Bret Hart on their side, man. Who better? Who better to have on your side than Bret Hart, man? I can see it, man. I can really see it. But when Bret Hart comes in, will Bret Hart take all the spotlight from FTR? Because Bret Hart, he is the best. He is the best to ever do it. That was it with that. And so, yeah, so right after that, we had the Acclaimed. So that's Max Caster and Anthony Bowens. So they were backstage and they spoke.
Yo, listen up. This Friday, main event of Rampage, it's Platinum Max, the best wrestler alive against Keith Lee. And they say you're limitless, Keith, but I'm no limits on the mic. I'm a no-limit soldier. Ho, ho!
That's right, Platinum Max is gonna beat your Cleveland Jr. looking ass all
Oh,
over
man,
San
not Cleveland
Antonio,
Jr.
Because everyone loves the Acclaimed.
Oh, Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs shows up.
My man, big opportunity this Friday on Rampage. You and Keith Lee, I want y'all to know something. It is now your duty to go ahead and do what me and Hobbs have been trying to do. And that's all these new people coming in trying to steal from us. I want you to put them down. I want you to put them out. Because no longer...
Oh, Swerve.
What you gonna do about Swerve coming in main event Rampage, getting my first victory and turning Friday nights into whose house?
Swerve's house.
Swerve's house. That's real. Isn't that guy a rapper? Switch the house.
But yeah, that was it with that, man. And so yeah, so right after that, we had the Jericho Appreciation Society. So that's Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, Matt Lee, Jeff Parker, no longer their names. They have new names, Matt Lee and Jeff Parker do. And Daniel Garcia. So they came out to the ring and they spoke. You know, of course, the crowd, they sing along to Chris Jericho's theme song. And so, yeah, man, so Matt Lee, he had grabbed the microphone and he asked the crowd, like, hey, did you guys like the song? Because if it was up to me, there wouldn't be no Judas. There wouldn't be no sing-alongs and all that stuff. So yeah, it was the Jericho Appreciation Society Commencement. That's what they called it. The Jericho Appreciation Society Commencement.
Because I'm telling you right now, if it was up to me, there'd be no Judas, there'd be no sing-along, there'd be no nothing. And that's why Chris Jericho is a better man than me. And that is also why this man deserves to be praised. That is why this man deserves to be idolized. Not only for his contributions in this industry, but for his contributions as a human being.
And so yeah, man, so that was it with that first part. Jericho, he finally spoke. I'm reading this off of Ringside News too, so shout out to Ringside News. So yeah, so Jericho, he grabbed the microphone and he said that Earth has been around for 4 billion years, billion with a B. And you guys are lucky enough to be alive during the Chris Jericho era. So Jericho, he had said if there wasn't Jericho, you know, there wouldn't be an AEW. Told the crowd you're welcome and all that stuff. And so that's when Jericho, he started saying that the crowd, the fans don't appreciate him. And the people in the AEW locker room don't appreciate him. And he said that the inner circle didn't appreciate him.
You don't appreciate me. The roster of AEW doesn't appreciate me. The inner circle never appreciated me. Sammy Guevara walked out on me.
Twice.
Santana and Ortiz disrespected me, and their little buddy, Eddie Kingston, had the audacity to embarrass me on national pay-per-view by making me tap out. Listen. You can cheer for him all you want. He's not coming out. They're probably not coming out here ever again thanks to us, okay? Keep that in mind. They don't appreciate me, but these men do.
And that's why we are the Jericho Appreciation Society. We appreciate each other because we realized very quickly we can't relate to the rest of the AEW roster. We aren't like the rest of the AEW roster because they are nothing more than pro wrestlers. And a pro wrestler has never been legendary. A pro wrestler has never been a millionaire. And as a legendary millionaire many times over, the only reason I was able to do it is because I am not a pro wrestler. I am a sports entertainer.
Ooh. And so yeah, that got major boos too, man, because you know, sports entertainment, WWE, they call their wrestlers sports entertainers and all that stuff. You know, they don't believe in professional wrestling and all that. So that's why they got booed. But yeah, man. Ooh. Man, that was crazy. So yeah, man. So yeah, he said that he was a sports entertainer, and then Daniel Garcia, he had grabbed the microphone from Chris Jericho, and Daniel Garcia, he said that, you know, if Jericho's a sports entertainer, I'm a sports entertainer too. And so yeah, man. So Jericho, he had said that he donated thousands of dollars to independent wrestlers he never heard of before, and you know, that person was Daniel Garcia.
He appreciates me. Then you got Matt Lee and Jeff Parker 2.0. And by the way, that's a stupid name from Bad Creative, and you'll never hear it again.
Oh, man.
We don't use made-up names in the Jericho Appreciation Society. We use our real names. Daniel Garcia, Jake Hager, Chris Jericho. And now these two men are going to use their new names, real names, from now on. Daddy Magic Matt Menard.
Daddy Magic?
And Cool Hand Ange Angelo Parker.
Cool Hand Ange Angelo Parker. Wow. Those are names that we got to get used to. And I'm guessing the reason why they changed their names from Matt and Jeff to those names is because, I'm guessing, because of the Hardy Boys. Matt and Jeff Hardy. And plus, we got too many Matts anyways, man. We got too many Matts. We got Matt Hardy, Matt Sydal, you know, Matt Lee, and all these other guys. And they all in tag teams. That's the funny thing about it. So yeah, so Jericho, he had told a story. He had mentioned Kevin Owens. Not Kevin Owens by name, but he mentioned Kevin. We all knew who he was talking about. So yeah, so he told a story about Kevin Owens telling Chris Jericho to invite Jeff and Matt to talk as Jericho and all that stuff, his podcast. And then he talked about Jake Hager. Jericho did. Jericho, he said that Hager had his back since 2010. And Hager is his closest advisor and the hand of the king. And so Jericho, he had grabbed Hager, he had grabbed the microphone, and he said that they are the JAS, which is Jericho Appreciation Society, and we beat up pro wrestlers. And so yeah, man. And Jericho, he had called himself the last true genius of this industry.
And remember this date, March 16th, 2022, because this is the day that the new era begins. In AEW, the era of the sports entertainer.
Boo.
This is the Jericho Appreciation Society, and that's entertainment.
Wow.
Interesting delivery, interesting presentation by Chris Jericho.
And that was it, man. That was it with that, man. You want to be a heel in AEW, bro? That was the way to go about it, man. That was the way to go about it. I enjoyed this segment. I enjoyed it, man. And I'm glad Chris Jericho is a heel again, man. He works so much better as a heel, man. Like, he does. He could be a great good guy, but I prefer him so much better as a heel. You know, obnoxious, loud, and all that stuff. And it fits. Him being a heel fits him, man. But yeah, that was it, man. I'm looking forward to what's going on. What's going to happen next with the Jericho Appreciation Society. Matt Lee, or Matt Menard, Daddy Magic. I'm not about to call nobody Daddy Magic, man. Matt Lee and Jeff Parker. They were jobbers. They were jobbers in NXT, in WWE. They were jobbers. And they went to AEW, you know, worked their way up. And they work with Darby. They work with Darby and Sting and CM Punk. And now they working with Jericho, man. Oh, my God. That dude, they came a long way, bro. 2.0 did. They came a long way. Nobody took them seriously, man. I'm going to be honest. I didn't take them seriously either when they were in WWE, you know, because they were jobbers. But, man, look at them now, man. look at them now. You are working with Chris Jericho, man, the greatest of all time, the GOAT, Chris Jericho. One of the all-time best to ever do it, man. You working with him, bro. Oh my God, dude. What an upgrade. What a major upgrade. That is a major upgrade, man. But yeah, man. Yeah, that was it, man. That was it with that, man. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this segment. But yeah, man, that was it with that, man. And so right after that, we had a Vignette, a Serena Deeb, and a Shida. And so they were talking about their feud.
So look who decided to come out of hiding. Shida, welcome back. Last week you said the whole time you were in rehab in Japan, all you thought about was me, Serena Deeb. Oh my gosh, how flattering that is to hear. But I'll be honest, Shida, I didn't think about you once.
Holy Shida!
You have my undivided attention again. Remember what happened last
Oh.
time?
Oh.
You walked down that path, Shida. If you think that you thought about me obsessively during your rehab, just imagine how much you'll think about me when the professor is responsible for ending your career.
That was it with that. And so yeah, man. So of course, Shida, she did came back on one of those Rampage episodes that I missed. But yeah, so Shida is finally back. So yeah, so right after that, we had the TNT Championship match, and it was Wardlow versus Scorpio Sky, the new TNT champion, with Dan Lambert in his corner, Paige Van Zant and her husband. I don't even know his name, but yeah, he was in their corner. And so yeah, so Dan Lambert, he was wearing the TNT Championship, the other TNT Championship, and Tony Schiavone, he was pissed on commentary, man. He was. Wardlow and Paige, they were outside the ring, and Paige had gotten Wardlow's face and all that stuff, and so Wardlow started, flexing his chest muscles and all that stuff, or moving his chest. And so Paige's husband had gotten Wardlow's face. Paige and her husband had kissed each other in front of Wardlow and all that stuff. And so Wardlow, he went to go powerbomb. He was about to powerbomb Paige's husband, but Scorpio Sky had cut off Wardlow. And that's when Sky had took control of the match. And then Wardlow, he started fighting back. He had an overhead belly-to-belly suplex to Sky. Powerbomb attempt to Sky, but Sky had fought out of it. And then we had a TKO attempt to Wardlow, but Wardlow had got out of it. And we had a one-handed spine buster to Sky. And so Wardlow, he had his powerbomb symphony to Sky 3 times. And so he tried to go for a 4th one. But Dan Lambert, he had got on the ring apron to try to distract Wardlow and all that stuff. And then we had Shawn Spears. He had came out. He walked out with 2 chairs in his hands. And so that distracted the referee. So the referee had got out of the ring and went to Shawn Spears. And so we had MJF. He came out of nowhere, man. And he rammed Wardlow's face into the ring post. And so, yeah. And then he brought Wardlow back into the ring. Sky had rolled up Wardlow to win the match. So therefore, Scorpio Sky wins the match and is still the TNT champion. And yeah, so right after the match, we had Paige's husband. I don't even know his name. Like, really, I don't know his name. Paige's husband, Scorpio Sky, and Shawn Spears, they attacked Wardlow. And so Wardlow, he tried fighting back. And he did fight him back. And he almost got his hands on MJF. But numbers were too much for Wardlow. And so, yeah, man. And so Shawn Spears, he had gave Wardlow a chair shot. So the chair shot from the chairman, Shawn Spears. And so, yeah, man. So MJF, he had handed Dan Lambert some cash, a band of cash. So MJF, he had paid Dan Lambert off and his guys off to take out Wardlow. And so, yeah, man. And so MJF, he had blasted Wardlow with the Dynamite Diamond Ring. And so, yeah, and so that was it, man. That was it with that. And with this match, I'm glad that they went the way that they did with this match. I'm glad they did not take that title off of Scorpio Sky because I had a feeling that they were going to take it off of Scorpio Sky because of Wardlow. The whole story has been about Wardlow. He won the Face of the Revolution ladder match, which gave him an opportunity for a TNT championship. And so I thought he was going to win the TNT championship. But, yeah, and then I also thought, another thing I was thinking about, like, hey, man, like, Scorpio Sky just won a championship. You can't just take the championship off of him right after he just won it. And so, yeah, that's why I thought Wardlow was going to win the match. But then again, Wardlow can't be losing. Wardlow, in the end, he did not look bad because he was screwed over and all that stuff. It was payback. It was payback to Wardlow. It was payback from MJF because Wardlow, he had costed MJF his match against Punk at Revolution. And now, MJF, to return the favor, he screwed Wardlow over the championship title against Scorpio Sky. And so, yeah, man, so that was it with that. So, eventually, they will be getting the match. But, yeah, so right after that, Alex Marvez, he interviews Jade Cargill, who is the TBS champion, with Smart Mark Sterling in her corner.
Here with TBS champion Jade Cargill and Smart Mark Sterling. And Jade, you're on the cusp of a major milestone, a 30-0 start to your AEW career. Trying to figure out.
Hold on. I'm trying to figure out where your green is on St. Patrick's Day Slam. This is preposterous. Aren't you afraid of getting pinched?
That is so
I
childish.
guess that's better than getting the kiss of doom. Speaking of which, who's ready to be lucky number 30? What an opportunity.
Opportunity? More like charity.
Oh,
I'm
tax season.
done with this. Who's ready to step up for this opportunity on that big show?
Maybe get the kiss of doom.
If they're worth it.
Let's go to the ring.
And so yeah, man, so that was it with that. So we still, so yeah, so somebody needs to step up to Jade Cargill. So we still need an opponent for Jade Cargill in her TBS championship. So yeah, so that was it with that, man. And so yeah, so right after that we had a tag team match. It was Private Party, so that's Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn of the AFO, the Andrade Family Office, versus the Hardy Boys, or the Hardys, Matt and Jeff Hardy. So AEW, they had the Hardy Boys named as the Hardys instead of the Hardy Boys. But yeah, man, this match right here, this is definitely a dream match. So yeah, Private Party, man, they were probably excited. They were probably excited to be in the ring with the Hardys. But yeah, man. So yeah, so the Hardys, they hit like their signature moves, their iconic signature moves on Quinn. The crowd started chanting "Brother Nero," and so the Hardys, they took control of the match. Matt Hardy tried to go for the Razor's Edge on Cassidy, so paying homage to the late great Razor Ramon. But Cassidy, he had escaped it, and so Private Party had took out Matt, and then Private Party, they took control of the match during a commercial break, picture in picture, of course. And we had a tope con hero to Matt from Quinn. And we had a foot stomp neck breaker to Matt from Private Party, and Matt had kicked out. Private Party tried to go for the Hardy Boys moves, but Matt had caught Cassidy in midair with a clothesline, and the back of Cassidy's head hit Quinn's back. So that had to hurt, man. And so yeah, man. So we had a hot tag to Jeff. Jeff had took out Private Party. Jeff had hit a gore buster to Cassidy. And then Quinn, he had tripped up Jeff Hardy on the top rope because, you know, Jeff was at the top rope. So we had a side effect to Quinn from Matt. And then Jeff, he went to the top rope again, but instead of going for the Swanton Bomb, he went for a diving splash. And so, yeah, so we had a double twist of fate to Private Party from the Hardys. And so to end the match, man, Jeff Hardy, he hit the Swanton Bomb to Cassidy to win the match. So therefore, the Hardys wins the match. And so, yeah, so right after the match, we had the rest of the AFO. The AFO, so easier, so much easier saying the AFO instead of the AHFO. But yeah, so right after the match, we had the AFO. They came out to try to take out the Hardys, and then we had Darby Allin. His music had hit, and so once his music hit, man, the crowd, they go crazy. So Darby Allin and Sting came out. Darby Allin came out with his skateboard, and Sting came out with his bat, and they went in the ring. So they tried to even up the odds, and AFO, they got out of there. So they got out of the ring because they ain't want nothing to do with it. And so yeah, and so that was it with that, man. I said this weeks ago, or last week rather, you know, I can't wait to see which other tag teams go after the Hardys. Or, you know, if they don't want to do the tag team, they can do some singles action. Not only do we get a tag team match, but we can also get a singles match with Jeff Hardy. You know, Jeff Hardy versus a Darby, or Jeff Hardy versus Sammy Guevara, or Jeff Hardy versus anybody. The match that we all want to see is the Hardys versus the Bucks. That's where it's going, man. That's where it's going. But yeah, that was it with that, man. And so yeah, so right after that, we had Tony Schiavone. He was backstage, he interviews Red Velvet.
All right, guys, and on Friday night on Rampage, Red Velvet, you go one-on-one against a lady you know very, very well, Layla Hirsch.
Yeah. Stats that you changed, Layla. But I stuck up for you. I had your back because you were my friend. But now that I've seen what you've become, I'm going to put a stop to it on Friday.
All right, Excalibur, let's go back to you guys.
And so, yeah, man, so that was it with that, man. And so, yeah, before we get into the main event, man, let's talk about Rampage and next week's show. So, yeah, man, so for Rampage, we have a special start time for Rampage because we have the NCAA tournament. So Rampage is going to come on right after the NCAA tournament. So yeah, so our first match on Rampage, we have Darby Allin with Sting in his corner versus the Butcher with the Blade in his corner. And also for AEW Rampage, we have legit Layla Hirsch versus Red Velvet. And then we have a trios match. It's going to be Bear Country. So that's Bear Boulder and Bear Bronson. And we have Fuego del Sol. So Bear Country and Fuego del Sol versus the House of Black. So that's Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews. And also, we have another match. It's going to be Max Caster versus Keith Lee. And that's it, man. That's it. Those are the matches that are announced. We didn't get anything for next week's show. But that's all we got for Rampage. But yeah, man. But yeah, that was it with that. And so right after that, man, we had the main event. So the main event, it was a steel cage match for the AEW Women's World Championship. And it was Thunder Rosa versus Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, who is the AEW Women's World Champion, or was the AEW World Champion, AEW Women's World Champion. So we had no Rebel, no Jamie Hayter. And so yeah, so Rosa, she was played out to the ring, and she had the Texas flag. And, you know, it's a hometown of Texas, San Antonio, Texas. So she came out with the Texas flag. And yeah, so it was almost a year to the day. So almost a year to the day, we had the St. Patrick's Day Slam last year. And it was Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker in a lights out match. So yeah, it's funny how everything played out, man. And so yeah, man, so when Dr. Britt Baker's music had hit, they booed her. The crowd booed. And so I was like, wow. Man, it's the first time ever, man, in a while that she got booed. But yeah, man. But Dr. Britt Baker, she came out. She was dressed like Scott Hall. So she was paying homage to the late great Scott Hall with the black and white NWO gear. But Dr. Britt Baker, she already had inspired Scott Hall gear. But yeah, this time she was wearing the black and white. And so yeah, the crowd was going crazy, man. Baker, she tried escaping the cage, but Rosa kept stopping her. And then Rosa, she had threw Britt into the cage. And so Britt was bleeding at that point. And so Rosa, she started rubbing Baker's face into the cage and all that stuff. And so Baker, she started fighting back. So Baker started to fight back. And then she took control of the match during a commercial break, picture in picture, of course. And so Rosa, she was bleeding at one point. And so Baker, she had brought out some chairs in the ring. And I don't know how many chairs it was, but it was a lot of chairs that she threw in the ring. And so we had chair shots to Baker. And then Rosa, she had gave a stunner to Baker, so shout out to Stone Cold Steve Austin. And so yeah, we had a running corner drop kick to Baker, and she kicked out. And then at one point, Britt, she accidentally kicked the referee. She accidentally super kicked the referee, so the referee was out. And so yeah, Rosa, she had knocked Baker into the referee, and the referee had jumped off. The referee had bounced off the ring apron into the cage. They're trying to recreate the Tim White spot in WWE when I think who was it? I think it was Jericho. It was Jericho versus somebody in a Hell in a Cell match. And he knocked Jericho. He had knocked Tim White into the cage. So, yeah. So, they'll try to recreate that. But, yeah, man. So, Thunder Rosa had hit the Fire Thunder driver to Baker. And then she went for the cover. But, again, no referee. We had an Avalanche air raid crash to Rosa on some chairs. So, yeah. And then we had a new referee came in. Referee Aubrey Edwards. And referee Aubrey Edwards got a pop, too. She had a huge pop. And so, yeah. Yeah, Aubrey Edwards, she had let herself in that cage. And yeah, man, so Baker, at one point, she had put her hands on Aubrey Edwards. And so I think, yeah, Aubrey Edwards had pushed her back and all that stuff because, you know, they both have problems. Baker thinks that Aubrey Edwards is like a conspirator or something like that, or one of her conspirators and all that stuff. Because I think it was every time Aubrey Edwards was a referee in her match, she lost or something like that. Or she ended up getting screwed over. But Baker, she had built a bridge with some chairs. And she tried to throw Rosa onto them. And so they were fighting on the top rope. Both of these ladies, they were fighting on the top rope. And so Dr. Britt Baker, she fell on those chairs. And she went spine first. She went spine first into the chairs. And so Britt had kicked out. And so Baker, she had pulled out the tacks. She had pulled out the thumbtacks. And she poured it in the ring. And so, yeah, so Baker, she had dropped Rosa on the tacks. And so, yeah, so Baker tried to go for the lockjaw. But Rosa, she had bit Britt's hand. And she started smashing Britt's hands instead of thumbtacks. And so we had a powerbomb to Baker on the tacks. And so both of these ladies, they were going back and forth. And then to end the match, man, we had a Fire Thunder driver to Baker on the tacks to win the match. So therefore, Thunder Rosa wins the match and is the new AEW Women's World Champion. And so, yeah, that was it with that, man. Really great match, dude. Well-deserved win for Thunder Rosa. And as I said before, man, she deserves it. She went through a lot to get to where she is right now, man. And what better way to win it in your hometown, bro? in San Antonio, Texas, when a crowd is on your side, man. That has to be a great feeling. But yeah, man. Yep. And so right after that, we had Dustin Rhodes came out and he hugged Thunder Rosa, and that was it. That was the end of the show. And so yeah, once again, congratulations to Thunder Rosa for becoming a new AEW Women's World Champion. You know, even though, you know, she with the championship rematch, she lost. She lost that Revolution, so she should have went to the back of the line. Even though she got a rematch, man, and she won, she still deserved it. She still deserved that title. But yeah, man, when she got that title shot, I was like, man, you know, if she gets another title shot, man, she has to win it. She has to win it because she lose, man. There is no more rematches, and so she ended up winning. She finally won the AEW Women's World Championship. And so yeah, man. So that was it, man. That was it with the show. And as I said before, man, this was a really good show, man. Really good show, and it was really exciting too. We had the Hardy Boys, and also we had Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson continuing to kill the tag team division right now, man. And of course, the cage match too, the best thing on the show, cage match. But yeah, man, that was it, man. That was it with AEW Dynamite, man. And yeah, man, if you like this video, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, and if you're new around here, if you're watching the Ryan Awesome Show for the first time ever, hit that subscribe button. Right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so be the first ones to know when my next video is uploaded, because I'm here each and every single week, man. Follow me on Twitter at Ryan Awesome Show. And yeah, man, if you missed anything, if you missed last week's review of AEW Dynamite, the video is going to be right up here in this corner, and the link to that video is down below in the description. So make sure you click it if you missed it. And yeah, man, and I'll see you guys when I see you guys. If you guys missed my first match, the video to my first match is going to be right up here in this corner. My very first professional wrestling match. And the link to that video will be down below in the description too. So yeah, man. And yeah, and I will be having my second match too. I'll be having my second match in Napoleonville, Louisiana on March 27th for, you know, the same wrestling show I wrestled for, Gulf State Wrestling. So shout out to Gulf State Wrestling and the people down there for giving me this opportunity. And yeah, man, of course I'm not going to be able to do anything on Thursday because I have wrestling training, professional wrestling training. So I'm still, you know, I'm still grinding too, still grinding. Even though I have my first match, I'm still going to show up for practice. I'm still going to show up for training and polish myself so I can be the best professional wrestler. But yep, I'll see you guys when I see you guys. And yeah, man, and this has been the Ryan Awesome Show. Take care, stay safe, and don't forget to be awesome. And that's that.